Earlier this month, Ottawa made vaccination mandatory for truck drivers crossing the border. The U.S. followed suit, which has launched the Convoy. Ipsos polling done for Global News found 2/3 of people believe stricter measures should be put on unvaccinated people. It also found that half think government should put a health tax on people who are unvaccinated.
Whatever you do, don't pay attention to what's going on up in Canada. It's not good for your health. You're a terrorist and a racist if you do. A literal Nazi. See, I get my news from TikTok.
If you support the truckers in Ottawa in any capacity, I'm going to assume that you are a fucking Nazi. I'm going to assume you don't respect a single fucking person who isn't perfectly fit into your stupid little cis, het, patriarchal, white supremacist bullshit. I'm going to assume that you don't care whether disabled people live or die. So if you support the truckers, I hope you support the people of Ottawa when they lose their shit and fucking retaliate. When they fight back against the literal Nazis holding them hostage currently.
Look at these racists. Oh man. Oh no. Oh no, what are they gonna do to this Muslim? Oh, he looks terrified. Oh man, I wish they weren't so many racists.
When Doug Ford shut down my side business, where the hell were you? You weren't there. But now you want to come out in the freezing cold to oppose my fundamental human rights and freedoms. I'm not going to have it. I'm a black man standing beside my brother right here. This is my brother right here. And none of you have the right to tell me who to associate with and who not to associate with me, because you did not.
I don't even know what this guy is saying. They're all so racist. They won't even let the guy talk. And this white guy won't stop smiling. Asshole.
Thousands of protesters enter Ottawa. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his family were moved from their home to an undisclosed location somewhere in the city on Saturday afternoon due to security concerns. Now it's coming into U.S. They froze the GoFundMe account, which raised over $10 million and nearly 140,000 people that donated. And now American truckers are kind of getting involved and saying, listen, we're kind of...
Facebook kicked them off yesterday.
Facebook kicked them.
137,000 subscribers.
Facebook don't like racists.
The people who are most opposed to the truckers in Canada are the people who vote NDP, the socialists. About 20% of the population stably in Canada. And now and then we have a socialist provincial government. And they've done some good, you know.
Look at how hyperbolic he is, making fun of socialists.
In the vast majority of people who vote NDP in Canada are opposed to the truckers. It's like, I thought you guys were on the side of the working class. It's like, what's happened? Well, not them. It's like, hey man, welcome to the working class, those truckers. Well, they're all white supremacists and racists. It's like, really, in Canada, are they now?
We know the way through this pandemic is by getting everyone vaccinated. And the overwhelming majority, close to 90% of Canadians, have done exactly that. The small fringe minority
that you can see from space
of people who are on their way to Ottawa or who are holding unacceptable views that they're expressing.
You know, like medical freedom.
Do not represent the views of Canadians.
I f***ing hate you!
Who have been there for each other. Who know that following the science and stepping up to protect each other is the best way to continue to ensure our freedoms, our rights, our values as a country.
Up to the Freedom Convoy, the movement is being called an insurrection by some, paralyzing the Canadian capital.
What was initially described as a peaceful protest has now turned into a siege of our downtown area.
Despite the Canadian Trucking Alliance disapproving the demonstration, supporters have chipped in more than $3.4 million for a GoFundMe campaign to help pay for the journey.
No. No. GoFundMe is not a way to support anything other than terrorism. Look at all these people fucking dancing, thinking that's the way to get shit done. Fuck this convoy. And if you don't like it, you are a racist and you probably paint your face black like Justin Trudeau did that one time.
The recent pictures that came out, I had not remembered.
And I think the question is, how can you not remember that? The fact is,
But what I'm telling you, GoFundMe, that's no way to support anything. That's no way to support the working class. Didn't you watch TikTok?
Could this year get any f***ing worse?
But this Justin, not Justin, this is just in. The news is Justin, not.
Let's not judge our neighbor because they may be vaccinated or because they may not be vaccinated. Let's not judge our neighbor if they should choose to wear a mask or not to choose to wear a mask in the weeks ahead. Whenever someone is doing their own personal risk assessment, which we have asked them to do in this province for a period of time now, they're doing that assessment for themselves, possibly for their family, and they may come back with a different decision than what you might arrive at. And that different conclusion, albeit maybe different from where you have landed, should not be judged. It should be respected, and it should be accepted. It's time for each of us as individuals now to make a conscious effort to treat everyone in our daily lives that we encounter equally. It's also time for the proof of vaccination mandate to end. So effective at midnight this Sunday, February the 13th, all provincial proof of vaccination requirements will end.
Valentine's Day and the mandates go away, at least in Saskatchewan. So I made this piece exactly how it came across to you to show how those who support this demonstration view those who oppose the demonstrators here, the truckers. And I want to do a little bit of justice to show that those who oppose it in Ottawa, they have somewhat of a point to oppose it. But I want you to listen to the arguments and let's see if we can make a better case that's less hyperbolic about exactly why this whole event is happening like this.
Well, it's been a week of constant honking, constant hate in social media, walking just down the street, it's hate, people are being harassed for wearing masks. It's upsetting, it's emotionally draining right now, being here and not agreeing with them.
Listen, I understand how annoying honking can be for those who think mandating one medical procedure across the board for everybody or else you lose your job is ethical. It's not, but I do understand how annoying this can get. To your point about hate on social media, hate was always on social media. This Ottawa thing didn't invent it. People just directed the already existing hate to this new thing that's on the news. It's like clockwork. Anything you put on the news is going to gather some kind of hate. To your last point about how emotionally draining it is to deal with citizens that you disagree with, I understand. Actually, I think we understand more than you do, because imagine those who are up against an entire government and corporate and media pushback that's shunning you, half the population, making you feel like you're the problem for not allowing the government with this brand new Operation Warp Speed vaccine that a lot of people have hesitation towards to penetrate your skin, or else you're going to lose your job, you can't feed your family, and you can't go into a bunch of stores. I think you can deal with a little bit of honking so these people don't have to deal with being penetrated by something they disagree with.
And they think that human rights are being taken away. I said, this isn't a human right. You have the right to choose. You have the right to not go to these places that require a mask.
It's not about masks. It's about vaccines. I'm not sure where you're getting your information from, but this whole thing is about vaccines, not masks. Yes, the mask thing comes into it. So if you want to blame anyone, don't blame people who are saying, please don't force me to choose between my medical freedom and my job so I can feed my kids. Start looking at the government and their behavior and the collusion with corporations that make people distrust them. If we were to go about this in any other way other than mandating and forcing and politically and socially shunning people, then maybe we wouldn't distrust this whole push so much.
Today, a Canadian judge signed an injunction to stop incessant honking as diesel fumes frustrate residents and shop owners alike.
It's difficult to breathe. You can't hear yourself think after an hour. You know, the headache is excruciating.
Diesel fumes and incessant honking is annoying. I get it. But just understand that this is what a peaceful demonstration looks like. There have been media claims that there's violence here. And what I'm seeing on both sides is that the violence isn't large or loud enough for there to be too much of it on camera. And the little bits that there have been, it seems like the truckers actually pushed them out. There was desecration to a statue. The truckers surrounded it. So none of those games, none of those George Soros and funding NGOs and getting agent provocateurs to go to places and make the opposing side look bad by dressing like them and then doing something stupid, which I'm sure happened on January 6th. It happens just about everywhere. But understand that this is what demonstrations look like. You want to mandate that truckers have to undergo a medical procedure that they do not trust and you think that's ethical? I think you can deal with a little bit of honking, and I'm sorry about the diesel fumes. Let's go electric and find some kind of better ways to deal with the EMF problems that electric cars cause, and you won't have so many diesel fumes at demonstrations like this.
Drop the mandates across the board for every single man, woman, and child across Canada. We've dealt with this for 2 years. You said 2 weeks to flatten the curve. We're 2 years later.
It's divisive. We're really alienating big pockets of our population with some of these mandates. And whether it's justified or not, it's hard to say.
We're gonna end these mandates. We're gonna end these lockdowns.
And the last thing I want to say is, I cut Justin Trudeau off in the middle of him explaining the whole blackface costume that he wore. I'll show you the rest of the clip.
The recent pictures that came out, I had not remembered. And I think the question is, how can you not remember that? The fact is, I didn't understand how hurtful this is to people who live with discrimination every single day.
I don't have a problem with Justin Trudeau. I was editing this in a way that really just actually pokes fun at the right and shows how hyperbolic the right can be. And the right is memeing like crazy right now. And they are very upset. The way forward is not forced medical procedures. It's not. It's not mandating people. It's not forcing the people who already distrust the government and corporations to do something. It's finding another way, a middle path. I hope you can hear this, take it to heart. Go over to benjosephstewart.com, sign up to get all that exclusive content and the deeper dives, and check out the Discord chat. All the information is below. That's where these conversations really pop off, and I'll check y'all next time on Waking Infinity News.